We are still doing outreach at the connecting grounds. And so that means right now we are still doing sack lunches every night at 5 o'clock. And we are handing out about 100 to 125 sack lunches at our building. You know, this is a population that has a inherent heightened degree of vulnerability simply because of, just the lifestyle that they live, because being homeless requires you to be communal for survival, really. You know, they can't socially isolate. And so they have to gather for things like meals. We have a very difficult time on our sidewalk every night, keeping 100 to 120 people separated 6 feet apart. It's nearly impossible. We're hearing a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of questions. This is a population that does not always have access to the news. And so there are a lot of rumors that tend to get spread just within this population. You know, maybe somebody hears something or somebody sees something. And so we spend a lot of time just kind of debunking some of the myths that are circulating. But I would also say that this is a really resilient population too. You know, this is a group of people who have experienced some of the hardest things that life and society can throw at them. And so they tend to adapt and get creative. And we're seeing some of that happening as well. Just, you know, watching them try to find new ways to solve problems and provide for themselves and their friends. Our heart has always been for partnership, for healing. You know, we would love nothing more than to be able to help facilitate some understanding and some education for neighbors and for business owners. I think there's a lot of stereotypes, there's a lot of preconceptions that are associated with the unsheltered community. You know, that there are a lot of labels that we hear thrown around very often. You know, things like they're lazy, they're not willing to work, they're drug addicts. You know, we hear that kind of stuff all the time. But in reality, when you really dig in and start to build relationships with this population, you really get to know them and get to know their stories, you start to discover that those labels apply to a very, very small number of the people that are living on the streets of our city. And you start to discover that there are so many more layers and pieces to the puzzle of fixing and solving homelessness than simply getting a job or, you know, simply, you know, whatever fill in the blank is that someone will say or use. And so I think there has to be some education on both sides.